Lisa Fernandez with that spotless 28-0 record facing Amy Shellivold, who scored the winning run against Kansas in the 17th inning. And Shellivold's aboard. An excellent start for the Cats. Haggard with a .342 average. One of the great hitters for Arizona. Lays that bunt down, in a way down to get it, throws her out, and the sacrifice works. And Shellivold's in scoring position. Cats trying to get an early run against UCLA, the top-ranked team in the country.
Seems a lot of the teams in this College World Series which have faced UCLA have come out very quick. We saw Massachusetts come out very quick last night, but UCLA has done a nice job of shutting them down. Arizona is so important to get Amy Shellivold aboard, and now they've got Laura Espinosa, one of their best RBI hitters, up to knock in Amy Shellivold, who's on second.
Espinosa, a school record 14 doubles in her freshman year. 6 home runs, just one off the school record. The change by Fernandez for strike one. Fernandez has the best changeup in softball.
And that's one of her best pitches. She is notorious for her drop, but she has worked on a rise this year, and she has a whole assortment of pitches, including the rise, the drop, the curve, and the changeup. And she's also developed a screwball.
By her own admission, she says she's fanatical about the game. Some pretty good heat from Lisa Fernandez, who has struck out 214 batters this year. She comes in here with a scoreless streak of 58 innings. Last year, she at one point went 98 consecutive frames without allowing a run.
Now, Lisa had sprained her ankle in the Pac-10 final versus Arizona and had a little bit of trouble with it, was wearing a little bit of a cast. And she did that when taking a lead off second, but she has been fine and has been playing on that ankle ever since.
Rise ball stayed up, and it's 1-2 to Espinosa.
Good pitch by Lisa Fernandez. She's ahead of the batter, ahead of Espinosa, and through the waist pitch. See if Espinosa, number 3 hitter, will go for that high stuff.
Mike Andrea, who has orchestrated another fine season for the Cats. The only team to beat UCLA. They did it twice during the regular campaign. 1-2 to Espinosa. In the air on the infield. Christy Howard, the shortstop, puts it away. There's 2 away.
That's a really key out for Lisa Fernandez, because Laura Espinosa has 44 run RBIs this season. And to take the bat out of her hands and get it to pop it up to Christy Howard and strand the runner now puts a little bit more pressure on Jody Miller-Pruitt with 2 outs.
In the cleanup spot, Miller-Pruitt. Looks at strike one. Fernandez is throwing very hard in this first inning. 3 homers, 30 RBIs, so she has been productive.
Jody Miller-Pruitt, of course, the catcher for the Wildcats, and she does a very nice job of watching balls. She's very selective at the plate. She's one of the leaders on the team in walks. She has 33 and led the Pac-10 in walks this year.
2 balls and 1 strike to Jody Miller-Pruitt, an outstanding defensive catcher who has improved her offensive skills this year in her junior year. Fernandez trying to work out of the mild jam in the top of the first inning. Arizona with a runner, Shellivold at second and 2 away. Oh, there's that changeup on a string. It was coming and finally got there, and Jody Miller-Pruitt was locked at the plate.
It's so deceiving to see Lisa Fernandez change the same windup, and look, she releases it almost out of the back of her hand, so she disguises it to the very last minute.
On the hands, Howard will run this one down. In her freshman year, hit .358. You won't see very many faster than her in collegiate softball.
She's got 67 hits, 66 which are singles, and basically she just looks to put the ball in the infield as you see Arizona's infield coming in and then race to first base.
Tough play for Espinosa. Not in time. The speed of Kathy Evans. A second-team All-American, and she gets down the line in a hurry.
What an impressive feat by Kathy Evans. She dared Laura Espinosa to try and throw her out. Espinosa and the whole Wildcat infield was in. They expected it. Here we see the slap bunt to the furthest infielder, that being Laura Espinosa. No, you cannot have any wasted motion, and still Evans beats Espinosa's throw by about a half a step.
With Evans at first, that'll bring up Nicole Victoria, sophomore from Camarillo, California. Now the rise ball is high. Her job now would be to sacrifice Evans into scoring position. The great 3 and 4 hitters on the Bruin team, Lisa Fernandez and Yvonne Gutierrez.
Victoria is second on the team and sacks Christy Howard first, but Victoria usually does a nice job.
In the air, and Jody Miller-Pruitt has it. 1 away. So on this occasion, Victoria could not lay the bunt down.
Good pitch by Debbie Day to get the ball up, and Victoria should know to lay off the high stuff. Debbie Day kind of handcuffs her, and Victoria has had problems in the past getting the ball down, and her only job is to put the ball on the ground because Kathy Evans' speed can take care of the rest. Good pitch selection by Debbie Day.
Lisa Fernandez, the 1991 Honda Award winner, representing the best player in collegiate softball, drills this one foul.
Debbie Day has such a great screwball. What she does is she handcuffs players. She comes in on the inside and gets a lot of the batters with their hands. Her screwball is probably one of her best pitches. She has a rise, a curve, which goes down and away, and a change. She's not a strikeout pitcher. She's more of a finesse pitcher. She'll outthink batters.
Lisa Fernandez played third base last night in the win over the University of Massachusetts and has pitched the Bruins to their other 3 wins in the tournament. That one's rolled foul. She tried to lay down the bunt.
You can see the thinking that's going on for UCLA. Yvonne Gutierrez, who is batting behind Lisa Fernandez, is on a tear in this College World Series. So what she's trying to do is just get Kathy Evans in scoring position. And that's the unselfish play. Yvonne Gutierrez is the hottest hitter in the College World Series.
Has an 11-game hitting streak and has hit 3 World Series home runs to this point. But Fernandez right now has tremendous power. In fact, she crashed a homer against the Cats last year in the championship game. There's one. Espinosa, the return throw to Shellefold and a double play. These pitchers can really bring it usually about 70 miles an hour, but keep in mind that circle's only 43 feet away from home plate.
And so much of it is reaction time, and we look at the reaction time. One of the faster pitchers in softball is Heather Compton for UCLA, and she fires about 70 miles per hour, and we compare her to Nolan Ryan, who in the majors throws about 90 miles per hour. There's the reaction time, about 42/100ths of a second. That's at 60 feet. Look at Heather Compton, 40/100ths of a second. So softball players have less time to react from a closer distance than baseball players from a further distance.
Susie Parr looks at strike 1.
A lot of times it becomes a guessing game for batters like Susie Parr to go against Lisa Fernandez. And Fernandez, as we see her throw the rise, mixes up her pitches so well, you cannot guess what Lisa Fernandez is going to throw.
Interesting to look at that split screen with Ryan and Heather Compton. And you think that Michelle Granger of California throws even faster than Compton. Oh, what a delightful looking changeup. And it's 1-2. To the batter Parra, who has to be off balance after seeing that big jug from Lisa Fernandez.
Parra likes to bite at the rise ball, and we saw Fernandez already throw her 2 in this sequence. And she just watched one go by, and there she just found another one off, and Fernandez is mixing the changeup in there, and we'll see her move around a lot.
Parra is 26-2 this season as a pitcher and has 2 wins in the World Series. Just missed away. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Susie Parra, leading off for the Wildcats at the top of the 2nd inning. UCLA and Arizona are scoreless. Kelly Inouye and Lisa Fernandez. They say they're in cahoots and they team up to fan Susie Parra.
And we see a good call by Kelly Inouye for Lisa Fernandez. She called a rise ball in the inside. And Lisa has such great location as we see it go high and inside, and Parra likes those high pitches in her power zone but takes her eye off it. The rise is working very well for Lisa Fernandez, a great spot pitcher. She hits her spots as well as anyone in the women's softball game.
Facing Lisa Geist, the right fielder for the Cats. She started at third base last year in the World Series for Arizona. A 2nd strike.
Lisa has that closed stance. She's not a very good drop ball hitter, and I'm sure as Fernandez and Inoue do their cahooting, they know where she's vulnerable. As she just pitched a drop, but that got away from Lisa Fernandez.
Fernandez won 23 in succession last season, breaking Lisa Longacre's Bruin record of 22. And then obviously she's put 28 together so far this year. What a pitcher. Never is satisfied. She works hard every day, wants to improve her game. 1-2 pitch, and she strikes out Lisa Geis. So the first two have struck out against Lisa Fernandez in the top of the second.
Okay, Lisa Fernandez got Susie Parra high and inside. She goes low and inside on Lisa Geis. Lisa Geis takes her eye off of it. Fernandez, a great job, low and inside with the curve. Another one is in the books. Arizona just needs to make contact. They're notorious for the run and slap, but the lower part of their order is having a difficult time this College World Series getting on base.
A changeup to Debbie Day for strike one. Not only does she have a great changeup, she has excellent control with that changeup.
And Fernandez is throwing the change to almost every other batter. So as a batter, you're guessing. And when you start to think it as a batter, you become less and less reliant on your reaction. The best batters just rely on reaction. When you start to think, it's like paralysis from overanalysis, and you become a less good reaction hitter.
Debbie Day, first team All-American principally because of her 32-4 pitching record. She's a two-time 30-game winner for Arizona. She won 30 games last year for the Cats. There's that changeup, and again, it's on the outer edge, 1-2.
You can just see Debbie Day starting to think, what is Fernandez going to throw me now? She's thrown me two changeups. She's ahead of me in the count. Just gets her standing there. The pitch looks also good. Debbie wants to swing at it, but she's not timing it.
And Lisa Fernandez strikes out Debbie Day, and the Wildcats 3 down, all strikeouts.
And the book on Yvonne Gutierrez is to throw her low and away because she doesn't go with the pitch very well, but she has adjusted to that this season.
A bunt. Day plays it to first, and they got her. Are you surprised that Gutierrez, the way she's been swinging the bat, laid down the bunt?
No, because sometimes the element of surprise is your best weapon, and Yvonne Gutierrez is the second fastest Bruin. Yes, she has all that power, but she is the second fastest Bruin and is second on the team in stolen bases behind, of course, Kathy Evans, their leadoff hitter.
Now to bring up Jennifer Brundage, one of those fabulous freshman players, the 1991 CIF Player of the Year at Irvine. She led her team to the 4A CIF Championship. Plays in the UCLA Marching Band. Lines that one on one hop to second. Steph Salcido throws her out, and they're 2 away.
2 quick outs for Debbie Day and the Arizona Wildcats, and that's the way they like it. They like to get the quick outs and get back in there on offense.
Debbie Day, 32-4. Trying to keep Arizona's hopes alive for a national championship. Of course, if Arizona would win this game, it would bring up another game. If UCLA wins, they are the national champions.
Debbie Day is quite a remarkable story. She had a herniated disc in her back in December, had an operation, and was not to come back until March. Well, she worked and worked and worked and pitched for the Arizona opener in February.
Right at third to Duarte. And she throws out Jennifer Brewster on an easy inning for Debbie Day. 1-2-3. Fernandez, who struck out the side of the second. Her first pitch to Salcido to begin the third is outside.
Now Salcido's got to be thinking, Lisa Fernandez struck out the side last time up, so she's got to be aggressive. When she gets that first good pitch, she's got to go for it.
In the air to shallow center, out to get it from second base is Nicole Victoria. Tough to solve the offerings of Lisa Fernandez. Salcido got it in the air, but not strong enough.
A smart at bat, though. She saw the first pitch that she liked. Lisa Fernandez is throwing so much junk and just paralyzing batters in the batter's box that Salcido got aggressive and went for the first pitch that she liked.
Stacy Redondo, the left fielder, excellent speed. Gotta watch it. She has a swinging bunt with the left hand, and she sticks the bat out there with just the left hand. She can bunt it with one arm.
Well, she's a switch hitter.
There it is, and it's foul.
A switch hitter who will do a lot of the chopping and the bunting from the left side. And Larry Ray, who is the assistant coach at Arizona, teaches this chopping. Start back in the box, 1-2 step, and then lay the bat down. But the bat was on an angle that didn't put the ball in between the lines.
Redondo actually has more power from the right side, but more of a valuable commodity from the left side because of the speed. She's in a hole, 1-2, facing Lisa Fernandez.
And what we're seeing a lot of the Arizona Wildcat hitters do is take 1 or 2 steps as they're starting to swing, and that's to get their momentum going and get the speed going so they can run towards first base. They're just trying to put it in the infield. Obviously, you can't hit with power when your legs are moving. You can't get your hips into it as well. So they're hitting all arms, all wrists, and try and beat the throw to first.
Change up. Great pitch. And Redondo is done. 4 strikeouts for Lisa Fernandez.
Not only was it a great pitch because it was a changeup and off speed, but it was also on the outside corner. Redondo going away from it, and that changeup had a little bit of curve to it. It just worked away from Redondo. As she's moving towards first, that pitch is moving towards third. Good pitch selection by Lisa Fernandez.
2 out. Amy Shellevold, who has the Wildcats' only hit, swings through the first one. Shingle up the middle the first time for Shellevold. Amy, a freshman. Her 4 hits against Kansas tied a World Series record. Amy Gelbach of Long Beach State also in the series had a 4-hit game. Bunt is down. And another hit for Amy Shellevold. She's 2 for 2 today.
Kelly Inouye, the catcher for the UCLA Bruins, had a little trouble coming out from behind the plate because she tripped over Shellevold's bat. If you'll see, Shellevold puts it down, and it's between Lisa Fernandez now and Inouye to get to that ball. Inouye gets it, but bumps into Fernandez, has to jump over the bat, and by that time, Shellevold, with her speed, gets an infield single.
Kelly Inouye has a great relationship, working relationship with Lisa Fernandez. There's the rise ball for ball 1 to Hagen.
Fernandez smelling a slap or a bunt there. They're 2 out, so it won't be a sacrifice. So she went upstairs and hoping Hagen would go for it and pop it up.
2 out, top of the 3rd inning. Arizona with a base runner with Shellevold at first. And she's going. Here's the throw by Inouye. A perfect strike to Christy Howard, and they get Shellevold. What a throw by Inouye. They had Shellevold easily. Arizona's 2 hits from Amy Shellevold. UCLA has 1 hit. We're scoreless as we move into the 3rd inning. Debbie Day and Lisa Fernandez in the pitcher's duel.
Debbie Day's .36 regular season ERA was the 5th in the country. Unfortunately, she's going against a pitcher that had the best ERA in the country, and Lisa Fernandez at .16.
Kelly Inouye, the catcher who made that strong throw to Christy Howard to gun down Amy Shellevold, stands in.
Inouye has been on fire this College World Series. She is hitting. She had a couple key RBIs last night. 2 for 3 last night. She has been on top of the pitching in this College World Series.
Yeah, she had 3 RBIs in the win over the University of Massachusetts. The Minutewomen, what a story they were here at Oklahoma City. They were the 8th seed. They dropped their first game 4-0 to UCLA, but they fought back and upset Florida State and Long Beach State. Didn't win the title, but UMass sent a message for Eastern supremacy. In a Western sport, UMass came alive. They won't win a championship, but they made a storyline for themselves. 0-2 to Kelly Inouye. Kelly Inouye is in her 3rd year. She redshirted last year. She's played on 2 national championship teams in '89 and '90.
And her pitch selection is getting better as she gets the signal from Sharon Backus. She's 6 for 10 in this College World Series. She's hitting .600, and she's starting to get better pitch selection and better point of contact, which she call it. Hit the ball where it's pitched.
She redshirted a year ago, and she's swinging quicker, pulling the ball. She had a redshirt last season after undergoing surgery on her right shoulder. But her 2 seasons were national championship years, and had they had her last season, UCLA feels they would still be the national champions.
You could see her thinking to herself, hit the ball where it's pitched, and Debbie Day again used that screwball to try and handcuff Kelly Inouye on the inside part of the plate.
Got us even at 2-2.
Good waste pitch by Debbie Day. She was ahead in the count and saw if Inouye would go for that low inside pitch.
Inouye leading it off for the Bruins in the bottom of the third. No score. Change up, hit to the right side to Salcido. One down.
Good job of waiting on the pitch by Kelly Inouye, and what you want to do as a batter is wait and wait and wait, and what they say is don't try and pull that changeup, but try and hit it right back up the middle. Kelly Inouye had already committed her weight on her first step, and all she hit that was with arms and upper body, and that's why it went to the right side of the field.
Freshman from Australia, Joe Alchin. Looks at ball one. What a year she has had. An All-American, first team in her first season. Has a school record 11 doubles for this UCLA squad. It's right down the middle. It's 1-1.
Alchin a little slow in this College World Series, only hitting 181, 2 for 11, so she has yet to come alive. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to make some good contact just to get back into the swing of things at this at-bat.
1-2. Day took something off that pitch. Debbie Day likes playing in the World Series. Mike Andrea said she's our big game pitcher. Two great pitchers for Arizona, Susie Parra and Debbie Day. On the hands to Shellevold. 2 down.
Interesting to see the sequence of pitches from Debbie Day for these three batters. The previous three had made good contact, and obviously that means their timing is on. Now Debbie Day's reaching down deep and unveiling some more changeups to try and throw off the speed and the timing of a lot of these UCLA batters.
With 2 out, Day will face Christy Howard. Howard's been the Bruins shortstop the last 4 seasons.
And she had been higher in the lineup. She had been their #2 batter because she's such a good sacrificer. But if Kathy Evans doesn't get on, Howard needs to swing away, and she's been having a little trouble hitting away.
Howard ahead of the count, 2-0. Her sister Kelly Howard has been recruited by UCLA, and she'll play for the Bruins next season. An excellent second baseman. So the Howards will be there in force. Christy only a junior, so she'll play with her sister next season. And it's 3-0. Debbie Day normally with great control. Both these pitchers, Fernandez and Day, around the plate. Sharon Backus trying to win her 4th national title in the last 5 seasons.
And Day has great control. She's still finding out where the umpire is calling his strikes. That pitch was awful good, and obviously she wanted to get back into the count, but she thought her screwball, and as did Jody Miller-Pruitt, the catcher for Arizona, thought that previous pitch was a strike.
These Bruins capable of erupting at any time. As a team, they have 17 homers this year. There's ball 4 to Christy Howard. A 2-out walk.
Not somebody you want to walk. Christy Howard is struggling at the plate, and Debbie Day is now frustrated with herself. Howard normally batting .230 and batting about 181, 222 rather, in this College World Series. You don't want to put Howard aboard because you have Kathy Evans up now, the speedster.
Kathy Evans beat out an infield hitter first time. Swings through the first one. Debbie Day keeping it down low in a safe spot.
Good pitch selection. As you see, some of the Arizona Wildcat infielders are drawn in. Many teams have thought of bringing in another outfield to play infield when Kathy Evans is up because she is such an infield single hitter.
Bruins have outscored their opponents in the World Series 29-1. way high. What's interesting about the 29 runs, no team had scored more than 20 in the World Series as you look at a panoramic view of that defense.
And we see the alignment. The outfield is drawn in, the infield is drawn in, and Kathy Evans puts such pressure on the infielder. She gets down the line in about 2.5 to 2.75 seconds. You've got to make that play all in under 3 seconds.
Excellent location on the outer edge, and Evans in a hole at 1 and 2. From Covina, California, the freshman prepped at Charter Oak High School. Howard at first with 2 away. She's going, and she's out. Jody Miller-Pruitt guns down Christy Howard. Spotless numbers. 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks. She's around the plate. That changeup has kept Arizona off balance. She'll face Jamie Hagan, Laura Espinoza, and Jody Miller-Pruitt in the Cats' 4th inning.
You'll see the variety of pitches Lisa Fernandez. You can begin to understand why she's only led up 4 earned runs in 28 games pitched.
Change up for strike 1 to Hagan. So far, only Shellevold able to solve Fernandez at all. She has both Cats hits. On the ground, 2 hops to Nicole Victoria. 1 down.
Mike Andrea, the coach for the Arizona Wildcats, says, you know, we had more speed last year with Julie Standering and Julie Jones and Kristen Gauthier. They lost a lot of key players from last year's championship team, but he does have a couple of the speedsters at the top of the order who slap it down and set the table for this girl, Laura Espinoza.
Espinoza, 6 home runs. She'll set every power record at Arizona before she's done. Only a freshman. There's that change, and for one of the rare occasions, it's outside the strike zone. 2-0 to Laura Espinoza. Off the right side and out of play.
Lisa does such a good job at hitting her corners. Her and Kelly Inouye, as you had mentioned, Randy, cahoot. And they talk about, they have a chart on each batter and where they're vulnerable and what pitches to throw them.
The bag at first, Dee Dee Wyman, the designated player, and therefore her defensive play made the play right there. Easy one right at the bag, and there's 2 away.
Again, Lisa Fernandez gets another batter fooled. She gets Laura Espinoza to commit her weight. Here the changeup. Espinoza's committed her weight, thinks about swinging, then decides it's all arm. Her shoulders are catty corner and just pops it up.
Jody Miller-Pruitt missed the bunt attempt. Strike 1. Arizona's been able to win the close games, at least in their last 3 contests. They dropped a 1-0 heartbreaker to Long Beach State from the Big West Conference, but have fought back. They won a big game against Kansas, 1-0 in 17 innings, won 2-1 over Cal, and then 1-0 over Fresno State as Susie Parra outdueled the Bulldogs' Marcy Green. And the Wildcats trying to reign as national champions once again.
Believe it or not, Lisa Fernandez has such a variety of pitchers, but she's not UCLA's fastest pitcher. She throws in the upper 60 area. Heather Compton, of course, the fastest. But Lisa does a good job of keeping batters off balance.
She does not consider herself, as you see that one coming at 62 miles an hour, a strikeout pitcher. But she has so many pitches.
And if we
it keeps the batters guessing.
If we continue to look at the miles per hour, we'll see each one varies. Some will be 62, some will be 61, some will be 55, some will go up as high as 68. And when you're trying to guess the speed and the location, it really confuses a batter.
3-2 to Jody Miller-Pruitt. Hit hard down the left field line, but foul by about 2 feet.
The number 4 batter, you do not want to hang a pitch, and that's exactly what Lisa Fernandez did. She hung a pitch in Jody Miller-Pruitt's power zone. She won't give it to her again, you can bet.
And the walk, and Miller-Pruitt goes to first base. And the changeup, 42 miles an hour.
you're guessing that's about 25 miles per hour difference. You're guessing from one of the first pitches to one of the last pitches.
Fernandez, the best player in softball in the world, was on our national team in the Pan American Games and led them to the top spot back in Havana, Cuba, which was a golden moment for her because her father, Tony Fernandez, is from Havana. Susie Parra struck out trying to solve Fernandez earlier in this game.
And she struck out in a rise. She's way back in the box, Parra is, and Fernandez is going to continue to give her that rise. Mix pitches up and go a little low, go downstairs, set up the rise.
Jody Miller-Pruitt at first base. We must watch her closely. 25 of 27 in the stolen base department. Even though Miller-Pruitt's a catcher, she has excellent running speed. 2-0 to Susie Parra. Runner goes, throws down there though in plenty of time, and Inouye cuts down Jody Miller-Pruitt. Again, a perfect throw to Christy Howard. The Cats are trying to run, but Kelly Inouye won't let them. Kathy Evans, she was left up there when Christy Howard was cut down by Jody Miller-Pruitt when she tried to steal. So she leads off here in the bottom of the fourth.
I don't know. Espinosa's still playing a little deep for a shortstop. I know Evans is eyeing. As soon as she squares, she sees where the fielders move. She looks at the two furthest fielders, and here Espinosa is one at shortstop, and Stephanie Salcido is the other. That's where Evans wants to put it.
There's the changeup, but in the air, she hit it too hard right to Espinosa. Kathy Evans wants to put it on the ground. When she puts it up, obviously it's playable, and she's retired.
A little fooled on the change, too. Kathy Evans fooled on the change. Normally wants to chop down on that pitch, but she was fooled and just lined it out to Laura Espinosa.
Nicole Victoria, one of 11 Bruins who are all Pac-10, either first or second team. The Bruins began the season with a 33-game winning streak. Arizona started the year with a 24-game winning streak. Yes, these are the two best teams in college softball. It was Arizona that snapped the Bruins' winning streak at 33. Fouled off by Victoria. Arizona's winning streak was snapped by Terry Carpenter in Fresno State.
We've been harping on the good job that Fernandez has been doing, but Debbie Day, don't forget, has only given up one UCLA hit, just 4 hits in this College World Series. So she is doing as good of a job, if not better, than Lisa Fernandez. Her team has not given her the offensive support that UCLA has given their pitchers.
1-2 to Victoria.
Only 4 runs the Wildcats have scored this whole College World Series, where UCLA has scored 29 runs.
Sharon Backus said after the win over UMass, it'll be different against Arizona. They like to play us, and it'll be a war, and so far it has been. Change up hit hard on one bounce to Salcido. She throws out Nicole Victoria. Stephanie Salcido and the Wildcats, very good defensively.
I think what's fresh in UCLA's mind, too, as we take a look at Victoria on the change. Again, waits, has her weight committed then and hits all arms and is fooled. And Salcido does a good job at digging out of the dirt and throwing her out. This ground's a little soft here. It has rained these past couple days here in Oklahoma City, but the grounds crew has done a tremendous job of getting this field in College World Series championship shape.
The dangerous Lisa Fernandez. With one swing, she could give the Bruins the lead. She homered for the Bruins' only run against Arizona in last year's title game when Debbie Day beat UCLA 5-1. Day beat the Bruins twice in the World Series last year, 1-0 and 5-1.
Lisa Fernandez has 71 hits, and she is not really an RBI type hitter. She is a great contact hitter. As a number 3 hitter, I've never seen her overswing. She'll go to right field with the pitch. She'll go to left field. She's very rarely fooled on a changeup. One of the most complete batters in the game.
Bounce to Duarte at third. And Day retires Fernandez, and the Bruins are done in the fourth. In Oklahoma, the weather changes quickly, and you can see some threatening clouds above the Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And through 4 innings in this Division I softball final, Arizona and UCLA All right, a scoreless duel. Lisa Fernandez doing the work for the Bruins, and Debbie Day, her counterpart for Arizona. The changeup, again tantalizing the hitter, and Susie Parr takes for strike one.
Now this is Susie Parr's third time facing Lisa Fernandez. Why? Because last time she was up, Jody Miller-Pruitt got thrown out stealing. Parr needs to be selective and be aggressive, because last time it was Parr, Geis, Day. Lisa Fernandez struck out the sides.
The rise ball, got a piece of it. It's 1-2. Mike Candrea, very confident coach. Early though in this tournament, he was not happy with his team's play. Felt they weren't intense enough. Thought they relaxed. He says we could get up for UCLA, but we were struggling getting up for other teams. Well, they brought it up a notch, won their last 3, and they get UCLA in the championship game.
What a great job he has done with this Arizona program. In just 5 years, he's gone out and recruited, and he won a national championship, the first championship in Arizona history for the women's programs. He continues to do a good job.
That's trouble. Parra will hold with a single. So Susie Parra has the Wildcats' third hit of the game.
There you saw a batter learn from seeing enough pitches. She finally found a pitch she liked and could get some drive out of it. She's seen a couple Lisa Fernandez pitches. That pitch was rather good to the low outside corner. Parra pulls it and gets a single out of it. She'll come out of the game, I believe, for a pinch runner.
Valerie Cepeda, number 7, will pinch run for Arizona. So Susie Parra, who's allowed to return. There's a re-enter rule in college softball. There's Cepeda going back to the dugout. And now she's not going to pinch run. So we're going to have a change. Arizona, Mike Candrea going back and finding another pinch runner.
Susie Duarte looks like she's coming in. She also uses a pinch runner.
Susie Duarte is the designated player. So kind of surprised to see her pinch run.
Don't know if Cepeda she was stretching there, so perhaps she pulled something or feels a little bit tight, or Mike Candrea could think about saving her. But as we know, you don't score many runs, so you've got to put your fastest runner aboard here.
And against Lisa Fernandez, you don't get that many opportunities. Geis in there to try to bunt. Looks at strike one.
That was the pitch she wanted to bunt, and she knew that. Lisa Geis saw it. That's probably the best pitch now. She's going to have to work. Lisa's now going to mix up the corner. She gave her something good, and Lisa let it go by.
Geis, a high school teammate at Rigetti High School in Santa Maria, California, of the Bruins, Heather Compton. That one's away. Throw it down to first. And Duarte goes back to the bat.
Kelly Inouye, good job. Pitch out all the way and trying to keep those Wildcats honest.
Not a good cut there by Geis. 1-2. She was fooled.
And that's exactly what she did, Randy. She cut, and that's not what you want to do. You almost want to catch that ball with your bat, and she swung at it. Looked like a little drop, and she swung at the break.
Arizona trying to manufacture a run. Top of the 5th inning, no score. UCLA and Arizona beaten into the ground. It remains 1-2. On deck, Debbie Day. The red hair of Lisa Geis, one of the great nicknames in college softball. Snapper. With the red hair, Red Snapper. She doesn't go fishing for that pitch. It's inside. And it's 2-2. Couldn't resist. Trying to hold her concentration against Fernandez, but she went around. 5 strikeouts for Lisa Fernandez as she gets Geis.
And Fernandez got Geis on 2 different pitches. She struck her out her first time at bat on inside, and she came down the middle with some spin to the ball. And Geis just trying to make contact. Just takes an effortless swing at a drop. But she didn't do her job. All she needed to do was move the runner, and she's frustrated at herself. And now she leaves it to Debbie Day.
Debbie Day trying to help herself against Fernandez. Didn't know that Duarte would want to challenge Inouye. Inouye's cut down 2 Arizona runners.
Debbie Day has 20 RBIs this year, so she can hit for extra bases. Just 26 hits. Sometimes she has problems making contact.
Tries to protect the runner there, and Duarte has no chance. The combination Inouye to Christy Howard has a patent on throwing runners out. And Inouye has cut down 3 in succession.
You've got to respect the arm of Kelly Inouye, because here now Debbie Day does a job of protecting the runner. She swings late at the last second. She knows the runner's going, falls almost into Inouye's path. Howard, a good job of cheating in front of second base and blocking the base path. Throw was better too, down low.
Kelly Inouye. She's in cahoots, she says, with Lisa Fernandez. Well, today she's in cahoots with the shortstop, Christy Howard.
The junior catcher, she's really turning it up this College World Series, and it's so good to see. Last year she redshirted and had to watch her team fall in the College World Series championship, and here she has come back. She is hungry.
Fernandez falls behind today, 3-1. Surprised they continue to challenge Inouye. It's really hurting Arizona. She's thrown them all out, all 3 of them.
It's a matter of chances, and a lot of times you try and force teams into errors. And of course, you're trying to force the number 1, the number 2 team in the country in fielding into errors, and it's not going to happen. UCLA is not letting it happen.
The count is full today at 3-2.
Now Debbie Day struck out last time high and inside. Be interesting to see if Mike Andrea's pitcher strikes out again high and inside.
Day had the winning hit against Cal in the 2-1 victory of the World Series. Tired of waiting. Remember, Lisa Fernandez is a perfect 28-0 this season. Strike 3 on the outer edge, and Debbie Day is done. 6 strikeouts for Lisa Fernandez. Arizona has 3 hits, but because of the great pitching and catching of Fernandez and Kelly Inouye, they have not been able to score. Inouye has been sensational, and Fernandez throwing strikes and tough strikes on 3-2 pitches.
We see her hit the corners as well as anyone. She goes low and outside. Kelly Inouye frames it and does a good job of selling the umpire. Debbie Day thinking it's a base on balls, but Kelly Inouye sold that to the umpire.
And Arizona locked up in another tight game. Every game, all 4 they've played in the World Series, 1-run affairs. They're 3-1 this week in the World Series, and they've won the last 3 after dropping their opener to Long Beach State. There's Heather Compton. She struck out 10, winning her 14th game and 15 decisions last night in the win over the University of Massachusetts. And they're singing the happy song in the Bruin dugout.
Debbie Day needs to bear down. She needs to keep these UCLA Bruins off base, and she faces a big challenge here with Yvonne Gutierrez, who is one of the hottest hitters for this UCLA Bruins. She's hitting .545 in the College World Series. Day's team is having trouble scoring runs, so she needs to bear down and keep the Bruins off the base paths.
Change up for strike 1. Gutierrez, 3 homers in the World Series and 8 RBIs, both representing records.
That's a dangerous pitch to pitch Yvonne Gutierrez. It's really a guessing game. You're taking your chances. You're throwing it up there and hoping you catch her off balance. That's exactly what she did.
On the outer edge, and she went after it. That's the kind of pitch that she went with and hit over the fence for a 3-run homer yesterday against Fresno State in the morning game against the Bulldogs All-American Terry Carpenter. That was in the first. It was a 3-run blast, and UCLA never looked back. Then she came back last night with the 2 homers against UMass.
And you can see Gutierrez, she talks to herself at the plate. She thinks herself just made contact, just made contact. She wants to go with the pitch. Debbie Day has a screwball for right-handed hitters. For a left-handed hitter, it's going to go to the outside, and that's where Yvonne Gutierrez is most vulnerable.
As a streak hitter, 11 straight games successfully. The big swing there, and down she goes. The first strikeout for Debbie Day.
Good location on her pitches. Decides to go low and inside to Yvonne Gutierrez. And Gutierrez, you can see, almost she takes her eye off of it, not even following the ball down. the big swing for the strikeout.
What a great job Debbie Day has done. When you think this UCLA team has electrified the crowds at Oklahoma City, scoring 29 runs in their first 4 games. So far, Day has stopped them with only 1 hit. And that was a bang-bang play at first on a routine ground ball hit by the quick Kathy Evans. Other than that, there's been nothing for UCLA. We're in the 5th and it's scoreless. 2-0 to Jennifer Brundage.
And Jennifer Brundage has seen Debbie Day a couple times this season. As we take a look at the numbers on Debbie Day so far in this game, just 1 hit, 1 base on balls. She's a thinker. She says, I'll outthink the batters. 28 strikes, a number of them swinging and catching the Bruins off balance.
A base hit for Jennifer Brundage. Only the Bruins' 2nd hit. Those freshmen have come to UCLA and they've played big all year long.
Brundage, a .296 hitter, and just goes with the pitch, a little down curve, and hits it where it's pitched, and it finds eyes between Laura Espinosa and Susie Duarte.
With 1 out, Jennifer Brewster, one of 5 freshmen who have started for UCLA this year. Last time the Bruins had 5 freshmen in the starting lineup was 1988, and then they won the national title. Bunt is caught by Day. Nice effort from moving from the circle by Debbie Day, and back to first goes Brundage. 2 down.
Brewster not as good as bat as Brundage, and so to get Brundage to second, Brewster will try and sacrifice. Her bat wasn't angled enough. She had it too horizontal. Debbie Day pitches her a rise. She pops it up, and Day makes a good job at fielding it and almost turning a double play.
With 2 away, Day gets Kelly Inouye, who's been the defensive stalwart in this game, gutting down 3 Arizona base runners.
The rise ball is really one of the toughest pitches to get down for a bunt. To do that, you almost have to have the bat vertical. And Debbie Day, when she knows a bunt's coming, she'll pitch a rise. And Brewster just couldn't get it down. Didn't have her bat in the greatest position.
Excellent catch by Stephanie Salcido, robbing Kelly Inouye. When it was hit, it looked like a base hit, but Salcido able to run it down. A marvelous running catch by Steph Salcido using the backhand. The Bruins are denied. We're scoreless through 5. She robbed Kelly Inouye. Let's see what she can do against Fernandez. She looks at strike 1.
Salcido is so solid at second base. She's got good range, and as we saw, she's got great leaping ability, good fielding. She needs to get a little more pop to her bat, but sometimes she'll surprise you.
No surprise from Lisa Fernandez, retiring hitter after hitter. Fernandez, 5 more scoreless innings in the book. Her streak has reached 63. That's down the line foul right to Mike Candrea. 63 scoreless innings for Lisa Fernandez. Wastes that one with the rise ball, and Salcido didn't bite. 1-2.
Arizona doing a better job of being a little more selective. They had trouble with the rise in this tournament.
Hit softly to Victoria. 1 down.
Salcido, both times a bat hit to the right side of the field, so she's still uncertain about her pitches because she's still swinging with her arms in the top part of her body, really not getting her hips into it or her legs, any type of drive.
Another dominating performance by Fernandez, keeping these Arizona hitters off balance. Stacey Redondo, she too struck out, facing Fernandez.
It's amazing. This Arizona Wildcat team is the only team this season to score 7 runs against UCLA. They did it when they won the Pac-10 championship. And that's the vivid memory that UCLA has in their mind, losing the Pac-10 championship.
That's one memory. The other memory was the 5-1 loss here last year in the World Series championship game. The Bruins want to regain what they believe is their championship. It's a foul ball. Redondo will come back to home plate and try it again.
It's interesting how Arizona won the Pac-10 because of all the rioting going on in Los Angeles. Many of the West Coast games were canceled. UCLA and Arizona went 2-2 against one another, but Arizona had one more conference win, and because of that, because UCLA decided to cancel a couple of those games and not make them up, and Arizona decided to cancel a couple games, the Wildcats had one more conference win. They won the Pac-10 this year.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Stacy Redondo. Fernandez with marvelous control. That one's fouled off.
Lisa Fernandez has really brought new blood into the pitching position. So many times in the early 80s, the speedsters dominated. Michelle Granger still a speedster, but we saw so many quick pitchers like Tracy Compton, Heather's sister, and now Heather is a speedster. But now the finesse pitchers are starting to come to the forefront, like Lisa Fernandez, who has 5 and 6 pitches, 5 and 6 different speeds. Debbie Day, 5 and 6 different pitches, 5 and 6 different speeds.
In the air, Joe Alchin tried for it, but about a step and a half shy of running the ball down. Doesn't matter how many offerings Fernandez throws to home plate. She can stay out there all day and into the night. There's Joe Alchin, who plays third when Fernandez pitches. When Fernandez is not pitching, Alchin will move over to first base, and Lisa will play third.
It's interesting. That's where everyone says UCLA is vulnerable when Fernandez is on the mound. They feel UCLA is vulnerable at third base because Joanne Alchin is there. But I see no signs from the freshman leading up. Letting up. She's a first-team All-American because she hit over 300, and also because her fielding was impeccable.
3-2 to Stacy Redondo. 1 out, 6th inning. In the air, Howard goes out and makes the catch. Christy Howard, excellent defensive shortstop for UCLA. 2 away.
I've been really impressed by Christy Howard over these years. She's gotten quicker. Her range has gotten better. She's got very fluid motion, no wasted motion in her throwing. She's really developed into one of the finest shortstops in the country defensively.
And the one batter that has done well against Lisa Fernandez today, Amy Shellevold. 2 for 2. Having a very fine World Series. In the air and out of play. Shellevold is 7 for 18 this week in the College Softball World Series.
Shellevold, one of the better slappers on the team, and their philosophy for Arizona: wipe out the front line of the batter's box, start back 1-2 steps up. Their second step, you should make contact with that pitch and then run like crazy to first.
That's hit hard, foul, and she pulled it. So for all the slapping to the left side, here she turns on the ball and turns it off the first base side.
The interesting thing is your same ready stance for a slap you should be able to hit from, and Shellevold proved just that. She can slap from that position or she can hit away from that position. So she's a double threat. You keep the defense off balance.
We've talked about all the great UCLA freshman players. Well, Shellevold's a freshman, and she was a third-team All-American. She's flat out a tough out. She always seems to get a piece of the ball.
The tough part about running and slapping is you've got to make that decision on the pitch maybe 1 or 2 fractions of a hundredth of a second before you would if you're just standing there. And if Lisa Fernandez continues to throw junk low and away, it makes that much more difficult.
Amy's sister Julie, a great volleyball player at Ohio State, led Ohio State into the Final Four. In fact, Ohio State, guess who they ran into the Final Four of volleyball? UCLA. So her sister Julie ran into the very tough Bruin volleyball team, and UCLA defeated Ohio State and went on to win their 2nd consecutive national championship. And And sister Amy trying to beat the Bruins in softball. And she has a third hit. If she keeps it on the ground, she's tough. And that was a swinging bunt. She's smiling. Happy about that one.
And it was a swinging bunt, so Kelly Inouye wasn't automatically coming out from behind the plate. She got a little late start on it, and because Shellevold is so quick, she beat out another infield single. Now remember, last time she got caught stealing. We'll see if she tests Inouye again.
Inouye has gunned down 3 Arizona runners. 2 out, and Jamie Hagan faces Lisa Fernandez. Right back to Fernandez, and she'll do it simply by throwing to Dee Wyman. Bottom of the 6th inning, Arizona and UCLA locked up in a scoreless battle. UCLA trying to close out the national championship. If Arizona wins, we play one more in this double elimination tournament. Debbie Day. She has fashioned a 2-hitter through 5 innings. And against a hot UCLA team that's hit over .330 in the World Series, that's not an easy task. Joe Alchin's bunt. Tough play for Duarte, and she got her. A good play by Susie Duarte at third.
What a fine play by Susie Duarte, who looked like she was caught off guard a little bit as Alchin lays it down, takes an inside screwball pitch, just lays it down. That's some of the best pitches to lay down, and Duarte comes off throwing off one leg and looks like she beats her by a step.
Sharon Backus not real thrilled with that call, but she's still smiling.
On the surface.
Satisfied and goes back to the dugout. We'll take a look at that one more time, and it was indeed very, very close.
Alchin has some speed to her, and Duarte again throws off balance. There, she's on first. See what gets there first. Ball.
She's out.
Ball gets there just a fraction of a step quicker. Good call by the umpire.
So Sharon Backus, she knew what we knew with the replay. She would definitely be satisfied with the call.
Interesting, talking with a lot of the UCLA players, and you find out Sharon Backus said she really didn't have a good feeling about this team coming into this year because she had to start and fill so many positions. So she started 5 freshmen. She was uneasy, and here she is returning for the College World Series. She's done a great job of teaching these freshmen the UCLA way to play ball.
Shortstop Christy Howard. She too with excellent speed, trying to get aboard against Debbie Day. A wicked curve caught the outside edge. It's 1-1.
Jody Miller-Pruitt doing a good job of calling the game behind the plate for Arizona. Remember, Debbie Day walked Christy Howard last time. She doesn't want to do it again, so she's going to give her a few more good pitches.
Espinosa, the shortstop, throws her out. So the first 2 have been retired in the bottom of the 6th by Debbie Day. Like UCLA, Arizona, excellent defensively. In fact, they are the best defensive team in the country, and UCLA is number 2 defensively. These teams won't beat themselves, and that's one of the reasons they're here.
You know, we talk about the defenses, the 0-0 scores. Well, this is the last year we're going to see a white ball in the College World Series. Next year, the NCAA will introduce into tournament play a yellow ball with red seams, which has a polycore for a center. Right now, this white ball has a cork center. Next year's ball will have a polycore center. It is more lively. They tested it this year. 22 home runs were hit in a tournament in San Jose. That's the last year we'll see the white ball in the College World Series.
The bunt is down. Miller-Pruitt has to hurry and cannot get Kathy Evans. I don't even think a good throw would have gotten Evans the way she gets down the line.
It's so tough. You know it's coming. You know she's just going to lay down the ball. You should almost be charging as soon as she lays it down. Miller-Pruitt, it's up to her to try and get Kathy Evans out, but Evans forces the defense into so many mistakes and just uses her speed. What a great asset for Sharon Backus to have at the leadoff position.
It's rolled a base hit. So a 2-out single for Kathy Evans. And Nicole Victoria stands in against Debbie Day. In the hole, base hit. So a 2-out uprising for UCLA. That'll bring up the great Lisa Fernandez in a spot where she could give UCLA the lead.
And you can hear the whole crowd start to buzz because they know who is up. Lisa Fernandez, the 1991 Honda Award winner, as we see Nicole Victoria take a high inside pitch and just go with it, turn on it very quickly. Debbie Day let that hang a little bit too much. She tried to go upstairs, but let it hang in the power zone a little too much.
Debbie Day in Arizona at the crossroads with 2 out. Evans beats out the slow roller in front of the plate. Victoria singles, and now Fernandez.
Fernandez hasn't had a good swing all game. Day's done a nice job of containing Lisa Fernandez, taking the bat out of her hands. And you know Lisa Fernandez is thinking about that. She's going to be a little more selective and wait for a pitch that she can drive.
Debbie Day chatting with her second baseman Stephanie Salcido.
She's really at a crossroads. You can't pitch around Fernandez because right behind her is Yvonne Gutierrez.
No easy outs in the Bruin lineup. 2-0. And you can't give in to these hitters. Gutierrez waiting on deck if Fernandez prolongs the inning. And Debbie Day trying to make these pitches count. If UCLA scores, they're within 3 outs of a national title. So Debbie Day trying to solve the hard hitting of Fernandez, and she drives it right to Duarte. A big pitch and a big play. And Arizona dodges the bullet. A line shot, but Arizona and UCLA remain scoreless. Can anyone score against Fernandez? 3 shutouts in the World Series at her scoreless streak at 64 innings. Unintentionally fouled off.
Espinosa undecisive up there. She's got great potential. Mike Andreas says she has the potential to be the best hitter in Arizona Wildcat history. He compares her to Nikki Dennis, a former third base person for Arizona. Just a freshman.
Well, Nikki Dennis has the record for one season at Arizona, 7 homers, and Espinosa has 6. Big rip there, but she was targeting a little piece of the ball as it went by, and it went by quickly.
Impressive pitch by Lisa Fernandez. She's worked on her rise this season and just threw it by Espinosa that last time.
Here's the changeup, and she pulled it foul.
You can see these pitchers are full waiting to the last possible minute to uncork it. It looks so appetizing because finally there's a pitch you can see, but your weight is already committed as we see the changeup that Lisa Fernandez throws. Same motion as every other pitch.
Next one is fouled back.
It looks so appetizing. You can finally see it, but your weight's committed. You're salivating there. You think you can make contact, and before you know it, the ball drops out from under you, and you're out there looking like a fool.
Espinosa thinking if she can just turn on the ball. Has 6 homers. Number 7 could be so sweet for Arizona at this juncture. She stays alive.
We mentioned that they're going to introduce a yellow ball next season, and there's some pros and cons for that. Sure, it's going to be lively. There's going to be more offense in the game of women's softball, but people say that's going to affect the corners. The first and third base person, they're going to have to move out. And in one experimental game, Dee Dee Wyman for UCLA got knocked out when she took a line drive off the bat from one of the batters. It hit her in the forehead. She got knocked out temporarily. A lot of teams that have used it this season have worn mouth guards. So there's some pros and cons. It'll be interesting to see if they want that white ball right there to come back after next year with the cork center.
Unquestionably, we won't have nearly as many 1-0 games next year.
Well, not all teams are going to use it in the regular season. It's up to them if they want to. They are going to use it in championship play.
Joe Alchin throws out Laura Espinosa. 1 away in the top of the 7th inning. Arizona batting against Lisa Fernandez. We're scoreless at the Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. I'm Randy Rosenblum with Tracy Warren. And what we expected, a pitching duel, has occurred. Threatening skies. Had a lot of rain this morning. The grounds crew did a terrific job. The field was covered. Outfield did not take too much damage. Actually, the playing conditions almost ideal on that field. And this is Jody Miller Pruitt. Sun trying to break through here in Oklahoma. The first pitch is down low.
Interesting, Lisa goes low because Jody Miller Pruitt has her hands high, and you want to go low and inside to a batter that has her hands that high. It's tough to bring those hands down that quickly and adjust. Staying low with her pitches.
Jody Miller Pruitt has been the backstop all year long for Mike Candrea's Arizona Wildcats. She's caught all but 4 innings for Arizona this year. Every game, they play a lot of doubleheaders in collegiate softball. In the air and playable to Kathy Evans in center. 2 down on the 7th.
Miller Pruitt's husband, of course, is a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. And she says they have a lot of interesting dinner conversations. She's a catcher, he's a pitcher. They talk about pitch selection.
That's Don Pruitt. He's in the Milwaukee Brewers farm system. And you know that baseball and softball is on the dinner table night in and night out. Susie Duarte, who made the catch of the line drive by Fernandez to keep this game scoreless.
This is batting out of order, I believe. Is it Susie Parra, the next batter?
She was. So Susie Parra has given way to Susie Duarte.
Ah, there we go. She has now replaced Susie Parra then.
As the designated player. 2-1. So Duarte is up there. To the shortstop, Christy Howard. And an easy inning in the top of the 7th for Lisa Fernandez. If UCLA can manufacture a run, they will be the national champions. Sharon Backish. The Bruins and Wildcats scoreless as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Yvonne Gutierrez leads off for the Bruins. Mike Candrea's squad holding on, staying alive. But Gutierrez comes up with 3 home runs in the World Series. She'll face Debbie Day. And Gutierrez hit a home run last night against UMass to end that game. And if she hits one out here, the Bruins would be the national champions. Ball 1. 3 homers in the series. She hit 1 more in a regional play against Utah. Went 0 for 2 today. 2-0. And Day pitching oh so carefully to Yvonne Gutierrez.
And remember, Gutierrez struck out her last time up. She's looking at a couple pitches this time. A little better pitch selection. She says, I'm just trying to make contact. She said she wasn't trying to hit those home runs. Just make good contact. And she's got such a powerful swing. It went about 225 feet.
There's that home run cut. She talks to herself constantly at the home plate area.
And it looks like she almost overswung on this. She looked like she got a good pitch, takes a big stride and undercuts it. She's very frustrated because she knows she overswung. So Sue Inquist, the co-head coach from UCLA, comes over and tells her, just cut down on that swing a little bit.
Two and 2. But to the credit of Debbie Day, she's had these Bruin headers off balance all afternoon.
You can see her mumbling to herself. Yvonne Gutierrez is thinking what she needs to do, maybe cut down on that swing a little bit. Debbie Day is going to provide a challenge. She's not going to give anything that looks too good. Yvonne Gutierrez needs to cut her swing down a bit.
2-2 pitch. It remains 2-2. Early in the season, Gutierrez says she put too much pressure on herself, being the only senior on the Bruins squad. She's relaxed as the season has gone on.
Well, she batted in the number 4 slot and then was having trouble, dropped down in the order, and back here in the NCAA tournament has moved back up to the number 4 spot. She's a senior, she's learned to deal with the pressure, and she's learned to be a leader on this team.
Debbie Day and Jody Miller-Pruitt do not want to make a mistake to Gutierrez.
See, Gutierrez has that big looping swing, and Debbie Day isn't giving her any fat pitch, anything high in the power zone. She's keeping her pitches low because Gutierrez has that big looping swing, almost a natural for a home run hitter.
Talking to herself for motivation. The 2-2 pitch, and it's 3-2. Tried the changeup and missed inside. This is some battle. Day and Gutierrez, couple All-Americans in the spotlight, and the national championship hanging in the balance for UCLA. They can sense it. Out of play.
Interesting to see the matchup. Senior on the mound against senior in the batter's box. The only senior for UCLA. Arizona has just 2 seniors. So you have 2 thinkers out there with a lot of experience underneath their belt. Debbie Day, of course, won last year's College World Series. And with a full count, needs to put Yvonne Gutierrez back on the bench.
Base hit for Gutierrez. A 12-game hitting streak for Yvonne, and she gets it started at the bottom of the 7th. She represents the championship run.
A fine piece of hitting by Yvonne Gutierrez. She got behind in the count, was fooled on a couple pitches, fouled a couple pitches off, and now cuts down that swing and goes with the outside pitch and takes it right back up the middle. Great contact, a good piece of hitting by Yvonne Gutierrez. What a College World Series she's having. Was that the UCLA Bruin squad in fast motion there, or they get excited too?
Well, they've been in fast motion all week long.
She's a speedster, Gutierrez. She's second on the team in stolen bases. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes.
Pitch is high to Jennifer Brundage. Gutierrez is 11 for 11 in thefts this year. And Brundage wants to check her connection with the head coach, Sharon Backus. Does not want to miss a signal at this point.
You're going to see the corners start to cheat. Susie Duarte, Amy Shelvold come in and cheat. They just want to get Gutierrez to second base.
No out of the bottom of the 7th inning. The bunt is down. Duarte to first. The sacrifice indeed moves the runner, the championship runner, Yvonne Gutierrez, to second.
You see, Duarte did not even think about going to second base. She respects Yvonne Gutierrez's speed, so Susie Duarte just came up and fielded and went right to first base. Doesn't even look at second. And now Gutierrez represents the winning run in this College World Series.
Jennifer Brewster followed by Kelly Inouye in the lineup.
And you think this is a really tough position to put these freshmen in.
Well, they've come through all year for Sharon Backus. It would not be surprising if they come through in the final. But Debbie Day is a tough customer in the circle. She has first base to work with, so she can pitch very carefully to these hitters.
They said Brewster has had a little bit of trouble dealing with her confidence. It was down in the middle of the year, and a lot of times that depends on how you're hitting. Now she's hitting .303, just a little lower than her .317 regular season average, but she's a contact hitter.
Infield watches this ball be driven deep to left. A home run for Brewster, and UCLA is the national champion. The UCLA Bruins have reclaimed the national title, and Arizona will have to wait until next year. Freshman Jennifer Brewster hits her 3rd home run of the season. And the Bruins are the champions for the 4th time in the last 5 years.